Alrighty. This one is just too fun. I had to come on while the thought was fresh, and my brain is just geeking out on this one. It's the concept of when you get hungry or you get snacky and you're like, I've been eating good. I'm just gonna get a snack and get whatever I've been eating good. And you know what? I know. We shouldn't say eating good, eating bad, but you know what? It's like, this is a vocabulary we have, you guys. Like, come on. So you know what I mean. So you go into the cupboard and you actually have something in there where the floor is pretty low. You've got a beautiful, glorious Haagen-Dazs ice cream bar. Shouldn't even say the words out loud. And not like the old Haagen-Dazs that were like 300 and 400 calories, but one that like nowadays there's ones that are, 250 calories. So quite a bit less. Still crazy amount of sugar in them. You eat that. Wolf it down. It's gone. And you're like, I'm ready for the next thing. And so you grab just a couple of, like a little handful of, those little wafer cookies, those, what are they? I forget. They're called different things, but they're like like a little long log strip thing. They're like really super lightweight and crunchy. They feel like air. Like you can't get fat off of these things. They're like so lightweight. They weigh nothing. They're not going to make me weigh more. Yeah, right. But you grab just like one little handful of them. There you go. 5 minutes later, boom, you got the ice cream bar down and the wafers down. And you're like, there we go. Nice little treat. Okay. Here's where the concept of intuitive eating comes in. The concept of intuitive eating is one of the millions of ways of teaching individuals to eat and eat healthy. And this one is kind of nice because you don't count calories. You don't have to track everything all the time. The basic premise is eat only when you're hungry. Stop eating when you're full. Boom. And never overeat. There we go. Or stop eating before you're full, give it 20 minutes, and then see if you still want to eat more. That's the basic premise of it. It's that concept of relying on your body's cues to tell you if you're hungry or not. But there's some caveats to it, and people pick it apart because anyhow, let me go back to this little snacky snack here we had. We're like one ice cream ice cream bar, couple of cookies, no big deal. That ice cream bar and those couple of wafers together that I ate within probably a 10-minute period of time, 15, let's not exaggerate, Lynn, was 700 calories. 700 calories I ate in 10 minutes of time. And after that 10 minutes of time, the only thing that stopped me from eating the rest of the cookies in the small size package I had bought, I was smart enough not to buy the big package. The only thing that kept me from eating the rest of them were two things. One, intellectually, I knew there was a ton of calories in these, so I needed to really look at this first. And two, I had a teenager to give the rest of them to, and I knew they would disappear in 5 minutes if I gave them to the teenager, which is exactly what happened. Now, had I gone with intuitive eating and said, I'm going to eat these ice cream bars and wafer cookies, yeah, you know where this is going already. I'm going to eat these until I feel full. I guarantee you I could have easily done another ice cream bar and the rest of that package of cookies, no problem. Because when I had eaten that ice cream bar and those cookies the first go around, I actually, at the end of it, didn't even feel like I had eaten anything. And I ate 700 calories. 700 calories is a whole entire healthy meal. In fact, for most people, it's more than a healthy meal. A lot of people, their healthy meals are sitting around anywhere between 500 and 800 calories for a healthy meal. And so like I basically ate an entire meal's worth of calories and more in just a quick setting. And at the end, I felt like nothing. So this is where intuitive eating fails. And this is where we preach against processed foods, against highly processed things, especially the sugars, especially the ones that have that trifecta of the high salt, fat, and sugar all together, which is exactly those ice cream bars and exactly those cookies, salt, fat, sugar, jam-packed in a pack. And your brain is like, yeah, I like this. And you can eat a ton of it before you have any hunger cues ever telling you. So just to give you a little context here, what other kinds of foods could I have eaten 700 calories worth? And then as I go through these, start thinking like the concept of intuitive eating, the concept of listening to your body for cues saying it's full. If you ate these items, do you think your body would tell you if you were full before you got to the 700 calories or not? So here we go. First, I just did like snacky foods. I went into my little chat GPT. I'm having fun with it. It's that the artificial intelligence generator. And I asked chat GPT, I was like, make me a list of 10 low density foods that contain about 700 calories that include examples of nuts or breads. So I'm like, give me examples of if I ate 700 calories of different nuts or 700 calories of different breads. And the AI came back and was like, certainly, here's your list. Instead of the ice cream bar and like small handful of cookies, that was 700 calories, I could have eaten 2 cups of almonds, or 2 cups of cashews, or 3 1/3 cups of pistachios, or 2 1/2 cups of walnuts, or 15 slices of whole wheat bread, or depends on your bread. It could have been 7 to 15 slices of whole wheat bread. I could have eaten, depending on the crackers, 9 cups of multigrain crackers. I could have eaten 26 rice cakes. Now, do you think on rice cake number 20, my intuitive eating might have kicked in and been like, yeah, you're done here. You don't need any more. or of air popped popcorn to get the same calories, but just in air popped popcorn, I could have had 28 cups of air popped popcorn. And that would have included it been the same calories and higher nutrition. So then I said, okay, let's have even more fun. How much of low density fruit and vegetables could I have eaten to equal 700 calories? So I'm just cracking myself up here, geeking out. Hopefully you're having fun with me. It's kind of fun. Okay, so to equal the same number of calories of that one little Haagen-Dazs ice cream bar and those small handful of those wafer sugar cookies, that was 700 calories. I could have eaten 12 cups of watermelon, 17 1/2 cups of strawberries, or do you like cucumbers? You too could have 24 cups of cucumbers for 700 calories, or 20 cups of cauliflower, or maybe you like zucchini. You get 35 cups of zucchini. Oh, maybe you're like, nope, I'm just going to make myself a big giant salad instead. Yeah, if you did that, you would need to have 41 cups of packed spinach in order to equal the same number of calories. Yeah. Or my favorite one, celery. 46.3 cups of chopped celery would be my 700 calorie. Okay. So that's, I could just imagine the spinach and celery one. You wouldn't even need intuitive eating. This is kind of part of the thing with intuitive eating is if you really are eating these whole healthy foods and you are eating lots of fruits and vegetables and you're eating your meat and that is what you're eating, your body does regulate so much better because you physically can't eat 46 cups of celery in 15 minutes without your body at some point saying, I don't care which end of you, it's coming out of you. So sorry, you gotta laugh and have fun. Otherwise you're just gonna cry. So these topics are the things that eating disorders are made of. These are the things that people get wrapped in their head and they're like, I'm just going to live on celery then, or I'm just going to, go totally all balls out extreme on the super duper 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 healthy. My attitude is knowledge is power. And the more knowledge we have, the more we get to know our own bodies and the more we know how these foods affect us, the more we can really be empowered and feel powerful around them. So for my example of this snack that I had, I really felt empowered in a lot of ways. I went in, well, first of all, calorie-wise only, I would have been better had I just gone in and done what I originally was going to do, was to get either some white wine or a little bit of Fireball whiskey. Like that would have been like 200, 250 calories. So calorie-wise, I would have been fine. But again, alcohol is a toxin. It is poison. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. It's a contributing factor to a lot of cancers. So I chose the processed crap food instead, which probably is also not good either. But I did it in full knowledge of what I was doing. I did it in the context of the great eating I had done all around. And I was just so fascinated by the fact that I could down so many calories and be like, I don't feel like I ate a thing. That's when we get ourselves into trouble. That's when we end up finding ourselves gaining weight, because it is not typically a grit, self-disciplined thing that causes us to gain a whole lot of extra fat on our bodies. It's just those small changes of diet consistently over time. And of course, a whole bunch of other factors that can be in play here that cause that, making it feel like it's impossible. Like I feel like I'm not eating that much. I feel like my meals are small, yet I just cannot get control over the scale and I feel lethargic. I'm not feeling energetic and I'm having all these chronic health issues peaking up. Now, I must pause and take a moment of recognition and respect for the fact that these issues are complicated. If somebody has a chronic illness, it does not necessarily mean they ate crap for years and years and years. It might. It might not. It might also be the environment in which they were raised or around, and they're just now learning how to eat better. No fault of anybody. Or if somebody is a marathon runner or in really great shape, it does not necessarily mean they never eat junk food and they've always, eaten perfectly all the time. These things are complicated. So I must pause and recognize there's a lot of factors in play. But let's reel it back and think about our own lives then and our own foods. We've learned so much over lots of podcasts together. We've been together a long time, haven't we? You're not sick of me yet? Good. About how incredibly important it is to get that added sugar out of your diet to help control the insulin levels, to help you not feel hungry all the time. about how it is to eat balanced of protein and carbs and your macronutrients, and how that can help you not be hungry and snacky all the time, of how important it is to start your day off with some good amount of protein, which is huge in making you not hungry and snacky all the time. This all fits into the philosophy of intuitive eating. And when you really dive in and learn, the creators of intuitive eating, the ones who really know what they're talking about, the term intuitive eating, eat when you're hungry and not when you're not, that is really the word intuitive eating is really the marketing brand that you have to put on something in order to have a container or a box that your head can stick the information in about it. When you get into the actual intuitive eating and learn and realize, oh, eating whole foods makes it so I pretty much have a much harder time overeating with lots of education. Makes it so I eventually don't have to calorie count everything all the time. Makes it so my body can eventually crave these healthy foods and go for the healthy foods and not be attracted to all the junk. That's where the magic really comes in. That's where that holy grail, I'm always talking about the holy grail, right? It kind of feels like it. It feels like a search for the holy grail. That's where all of that comes together and becomes that lifestyle of health and wellness in a way that's also a happy way to live and a not deprived way to live. This stuff is hard. This stuff is not easy. And mostly because you guys know our food system is so screwed up and our grocery stores have more non-food in them than actual food. And our sense of what's normal for what we eat is totally screwed up. And I am on my soapbox, but I will stay on the soapbox and preach it over and over and over and over again. And give it some grace, give it some compassion, and know that it's also about balance. However, the scales are so tipped to the side of processed crap foods that we eat all the time that our idea of what is balanced is really skewed. So even if you take if you're eating mostly all processed foods now, if you take that and be like, okay, now I'm doing better, that's great. That's awesome. That is to be celebrated. There's a really good chance, though, that that's still somewhere skewed on the scale and needs to be brought in even closer and closer and closer to whole food eating and taking care of yourself holistically with that, and sleep and stress management and hydration and all those good things. And of course, exercise. So there we go. I don't know. I just couldn't get the idea of eating 46 cups of celery out of my brain. That just made me laugh out loud. And it was kind of cool too to think like, oh wow, if I ever want to go on a binge of ice cream bars and sugar cookies, I could actually instead eat 2 whole cups of cashews, which I probably never would. I'd get through the first cup and I'd be like, "Buh." Or 3 whole cups of pistachios. Yeah, could you imagine? In 15 minutes? Nom, 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 nom. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe you're more awesome than I am in that way. So there we go. That's the nutshell kind of picture of intuitive eating. I would love if you've got an intuitive eating story, or maybe you've got a binge of something that you like to do. Like, I like to eat the whole bag of potato chips, Lynn, or I like this or that, or something weird. Email it to me and say, hey, podcast idea. I'll throw it into one of our episodes. And I'll come on and be like, hey, this listener likes to eat a half a bag of potato chips and, 4 ice cream bars. What could they eat instead? I'll have some fun with you there. So, alrighty, friends, that is a little bit on intuitive eating. Lots more where that came from. If you are at a point in your life where you want to seriously, finally get the health and eating going, I am a sports nutrition specialist and a weight management specialist, along with personal trainer. Happy to help dial in your specific needs. Just head on over to couch2active.com. You can just sign right up for personal training, or you can give us a call or email, and we'll chit chat and get you going. Alrighty, bye-bye now. That's couch2active.com.